Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is episode 7 of my gameplay of Worldwide Rush. As always, thanks to Memel Games for giving me a copy of their game so I could play it in these videos. And as usual, I am playing Worldwide Rush on the Steam Deck, so there are minor gameplay and graphics differences if you are playing on PC. In my last video, I said that it seems like my hub managers may be accidentally deleting profitable routes. After my last video, I found that more routes were missing. I did some testing, and now I am certain that if a hub manager attempts to upgrade a vehicle on a profitable route, but the upgraded vehicle is sold out, the hub manager may sell the vehicle without a replacement. This is extremely disruptive to my game strategy, and in some cases can feel like active sabotage. I'm going to take care of the missing routes in a moment, but before I do that, I'm going to check this task to upgrade certain vehicles. My thinking is that if I upgrade these vehicles now, I may be able to purchase the vehicles I'm upgrading them from, and use the old vehicles to replace the routes which are missing. All 4 of these are Gannets. I will upgrade the ones I can to Sanfords, because I want to make sure that Sanfords sell out this month, so there will be more available next month. The Sanford is also more profitable than the Foraker, even though the Foraker can carry more passengers, so I want to maximize my use of the Sanford. I'm a little surprised that these weren't upgraded automatically, because these are all coming from hubs controlled by hub managers. I guess it's possible that the managers themselves have run out of funds for more upgrades. And we are sold out of Sanfords, so this one we will upgrade to a Foraker. And last one. Which again will be upgraded to a Foraker. Alright, now to the hub managers that were giving me trouble. First of all, Macon. So the routes we currently have are this one to Tallahassee, which is at capacity. So this route is from Tallahassee through Albany to Macon. We can see that there are currently 53 passengers who want to get to Knoxville. And from Albany, there are 60 passengers who want to get to Macon, so I need to be really carrying an additional 100 passengers, more or less. So we'll go ahead and upgrade this to the Foraker. And we have this route from Macon to Savannah, which again, the current vehicle is an Endicott, so that's going to have to be larger. Again, how much am I actually transporting on this route? It's currently in Macon picking up passengers. And there are 12 more to Savannah and 10 more to North Charleston after that. There are 33 in Savannah going to North Charleston, and there are 25 passengers from North Charleston going to Palm Bay. So those are sort of the numbers I'm looking at. Again, we want to be upgrading to as large as we can. Although, given my choices, I think I have to go with the Wyndham. Alright, and speaking of hub managers, we have this hub manager in Myrtle Beach. There weren't actually any routes deleted from Myrtle Beach this time around, but I don't trust this hub manager, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this hub manager right now. There aren't any other changes I need to make at Myrtle Beach right now. So next we have Rolla. This hub manager did delete a route. So again, we're going to remove the hub manager and then replace the route that got removed, which is from Rolla up through various stops to Cedar Rapids. And so the vehicles that I sold back were not actually replaced, so my options for new vehicles are a little bit limited. So the question is, do I want the Foraker, which can take 61? Probably. Let's go for it. I've paused the game while I'm making all of these changes, so we'll have to see what happens after I restart the game. And then there was actually a second route deleted from Rolla, which was the one connecting through various cities on this loop down to Memphis. So I will replace that one as well. And again, lots of passengers going to all these cities, so I'll take the Foraker. Alright, so Rolla should be good for now. Next on my list was Selena. Again, the hub manager here. Remove the route, so we will remove the hub manager. And then next replace the route that's missing. It's from Garden City to North Platte to Selena. And again, looking at my options for vehicles, I will go with the smaller one, the Frontier Endicott, which I think will be enough for this route. So yeah, double checking, it's 40 people from Garden City and then another 50 or so from North Platte. Although 36 of those from North Platte are going to Grand Island. I don't actually have that connection at the moment. But thinking about it, the Endicott may not be enough. So I think my solution is to just add a second Endicott to this route. Okay, what else was I looking at? Right, we also have this route from Norfolk to Salina. We've had some success previously bringing passengers to Salina, but that route doesn't actually exist anymore. And again, just looking at my numbers, we'll go from Norfolk to Grand Island to Salina, and again, given my options, we'll take another Frontier Endicott. While I'm here, I also wanted to take a look at Manhattan. We can see that Manhattan has lots and lots of passengers who want to get to Salina, as well as a bunch who want to get to Tulsa. So this isn't replacing a route, this is just adding a route that I really should have had all along, directly between Salina and Manhattan. And since the two cities are so close together, an Endicott is going to be able to transport many passengers, so it's probably all I need. And finally, I think Monterey. Again, problem with routes disappearing on me, so we will remove the hub manager. And the route that I need, let me double check things. We have lots of passengers who want to go to San Luis Potosi City and various locations to the south. And this route, which was connecting down to Leon, again, has disappeared. So this one I know is profitable. We'll add a Foraker. Profitable and has lots of passengers every time. So at this point, to Torreon, we have a single direct route. Previously, I had a route going to Hidalgo del Peral, and that one has been deleted. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that one as well. And again, a single Endicott is probably not enough, so I'll just go ahead and buy 2 immediately. So something else I've been looking at down here is these 2 cities which are near Leon and actually have roads connecting to them. Irapuato and Querétaro City. And they have roads connecting to them, but there are no vehicles actually connecting to either of those routes. So I'm here, I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to connect around to Leon. And again, we'll start with a Frontier Endicott. And so I'm just improving the connectivity of these cities, right? At this point, I am competing for some of these cities for passengers with this other company, which is based out of Mexico City. And so my goal here is to dominate the passenger traffic up to these cities or between these cities. Okay, so those were all of the hubs where I had hub managers which I wanted to remove. So now I can start moving forward. I'll start the gameplay again. Our first task is to build a hub in Hidalgo del Peral. So I've done that. We get a bonus if we connect to all of the cities that we want to go to. So that's Mazatlan. We'll add this road in. Running out of options. I'll take a Powell just because I'm running out of so many things. But we can see that the road I'm about to build is going to go through Durango. So I might as well stop there as well, probably. Before I actually build this out, I want to check, where does Durango have passengers want it to go? Okay, back to Hidalgo del Peral, so that works out for me, and then to Mazatlan. So those are both good. So, but I will need a bigger vehicle, so we'll upgrade to the Endicott, build both roads, and create the routes. There are many cities nearby which want to connect to Hidalgo del Peral. You can see all of them, all of these other cities that have passengers that want to come to this location. I would love to connect them all, but it seems like road building in Mexico is more expensive than road building in the US. And I'm concerned about my other tasks, so I want to take care of those first. And so the other two tasks we have are Cookeville has an indirect traffic problem, and a request specifically to connect Cookeville to Philadelphia. It turns out they're really the same problem because the indirect traffic that it's complaining about is traffic related to Philadelphia. We can also see that we have a huge number of passengers in Cookeville who want to go to Washington and Sumter. So my solution is going to build a route that connects Cookeville directly to Philadelphia. And because we know we want to be carrying lots of passengers, this one will just be a train. We will diversify into the Ironclad 1000 because we've already upgraded the other type of train. We've already unlocked the level 2 upgrade. So now we can start working on upgrading the level 2 upgrade of this kind of train. And you can see the rails that we're building. And so what I'll do is build up the rails first and then add all the cities that are on those rails. We'll just connect to all of them. I'll go right through Washington. might as well stop at Baltimore, and then up to Philadelphia, as is our goal, and start that train, and it's off. Immediately filled, carrying lots of passengers to Washington, so not carrying passengers to Philadelphia yet, but once we've picked up enough passengers coming to Washington, it should start picking up the passengers going to Philadelphia as well. It's just that the way the game prioritizes the passengers. And just from having picked up so many passengers in that train, it frees up my other vehicles to pick up passengers going in other routes. So the other one to look at is Sumter. What's happening here? So the reason why I have lots of passengers who are waiting in Cookeville to get to Sumter is because another company has a direct route connecting Cookeville and Sumter, and so passengers want to take direct routes. So what's going on with Sumter? We have lots of passengers going to lots of places: Asheville, Washington, Chicago. Why are they ending up here? Well, just going to work on fixing things first. We're going to add a route starting in Myrtle Beach and then connecting through Asheville to Cookeville. And now passengers will be able to get both directions from Sumter and Cookeville and stop off at various places along the way. We'll go back to road vehicles at this point, and we'll take the Endicott Frontier, which isn't really big enough, but we just have that problem with. I don't have a lot of larger buses to be able to buy, and so we can see, setting off from Myrtle Beach, this is almost immediately filling up. But at least it's dropping off a lot of passengers at Sumter, so it should work on both of those. And there we go. Meanwhile, all of our passengers from Cookeville to Philadelphia are on their way. And so, nothing more to do there. We can see the only way to get to Philadelphia at this point is this train that I have operating. But passengers can get part of the way taking other vehicles. Alright, so now that all of my goals are completed, all of my tasks are completed, the question is, what should I be doing next? The thing I think I want to work on at this point is come back to Atlanta, and we can see Atlanta has 138 passengers who want to go to Mexico City. Again, passengers seem to be collecting in Atlanta to go to Mexico City, but Atlanta also has passengers wanting to go towards Washington, and so in some way that'll be easier to fix, right? I had this one train which is going from Atlanta to Washington already. We'll add another train potentially, trying to figure out what the best route is. We have this issue too. We have 213 passengers in Columbia who want to get to Charlotte. And again, why? Because another company has a direct path. Let's take a look at this direct path. So this other company has started a route which starts in Washington, goes to Charlotte, Chicago, Memphis, Tallahassee, and then Columbia. And because it stops in Columbia and Charlotte, this is considered a direct route. And so passengers will go to Columbia so they can get to Charlotte on this direct route, even though that route is ridiculous and that route cannot possibly carry as many passengers as are desired. So there's this other route which makes more sense coming from the other competitor based in Chicago, and it does go directly between Columbia and Charlotte. But you can see it's only a sluggard. It can only carry 8 passengers each time. So I need to do something about this. And what I'm going to do is connect Atlanta through both of those cities and then up to Washington. And again, this will be a train. And again, we will take the Ironclad 1000 so we can work on unlocking level 2 from this company. And so we just need to build this tiny piece of rails connecting Columbia and Charlotte. And now that route works. And we can create that route, and we can see we're immediately picking up lots of passengers who are going to lots of useful places, mostly Augusta and Washington at the moment, but at least the passengers who are getting off in Augusta mean that I'll be able to pick up passengers from Columbia. So hopefully that will ease my traffic problems for Columbia and Charlotte. I'm actively trying to expand out train routes at this point because trains just have so much more capacity than buses do. On the other hand, train routes are expensive. So what else is happening at Charlotte? We have the 112 who want to go to Culpeper, which should be taken care of by that train. We also have 73 at this point who want to go to Chicago. So I need a route from Charlotte to Chicago. So this one I'll start in Myrtle Beach. But just go directly. What does this look like? I don't think I can afford another train at this point, so it's going to have to start with Frontier Endicott. It's the best we can do. And we can see I could build a direct road from Myrtle Beach to Charlotte, or I can go through Columbia, and since there are lots of passengers in Columbia, I might as well go that way anyway. And then looking further down the line, we can see all the other cities which we're going through. So let's go ahead and take that route. We'll stop off everywhere on the way, and then it moves up through Pikeville. Actually, let me double check. What is my best option at this point? I want to get to Chicago. Yeah. The route it's recommending is Pikeville, Lexington, Louisville, Indianapolis, and then we'll remove Chicago and add it back in where it belongs. And this is fairly expensive because I have to upgrade the hub in Myrtle Beach to add another vehicle to the Myrtle Beach hub. But between the train and that additional bus, I'm hoping that will help clear out both the traffic from Columbia to Charlotte, but also the traffic I have from all the cities in that area up to Chicago. And so again, the question is, what do I need to work on next? And we can see there's a little red exclamation mark next to St. Louis. So I may need to do something there, but also just looking at Memphis, it's very close to its maximum capacity. Right? Many passengers are coming to Memphis from other cities so they can travel from Memphis to all of the other cities. And if there are too many passengers, Memphis will stop accepting those passengers who are on indirect routes. And so my fix to that is directly connect Memphis to Chicago. This one will be a train. And are we going through the cities we want to be going through? Mostly. Let's see what happens if I force the train to go through Decatur. Okay, that still looks good. And also through Dyersburg. Yeah. And price things out. Rails are expensive, but I think I can do it. And there we go. And it's immediately filling up, and so that will help with Memphis. And also St. Louis. Alright, having done that, I can also add a train route from Arola, because this new train route only needs the additional rail between Arola and St. Louis. So it'll be relatively less expensive. Than the original rail was. And there we go. Alright, so we have a bunch of new trains. Where else? What's next? Come back to Atlanta. We have 176 passengers who want to go to Mexico City. So I can't build a train at this point, it's just too far. I can add a bus that will go between Mexico City and Atlanta. This bus is going through a lot of hubs on the way, or a lot of other cities on the way. So, you know, I think I just want to connect to hubs. Let me think about this. Yeah, we'll just connect to the hubs that are on the way. Jackson, and then Atlanta will be the final one. Okay. And so my hope is that with this route in place, passengers who want to get to Mexico City, instead of funneling to Atlanta, which is what they're doing right now, they'll start funneling down towards the other hubs, towards Houston or towards Jackson. And it's off. And right now it's just carrying passengers to other locations in Mexico. But on the way back, I'll be carrying passengers from my cities down to Mexico City. So I think I want to do the same thing, only instead of going to Atlanta, we're going to head to Chicago. And so we can basically take a second route. All right, we're going to go Mexico City, San Luis Potosi City, Monterrey, and this time to Dallas, and then Memphis, and then Chicago. And so basically we now have two options for how passengers can get from various cities in the United States down to Mexico City. This bus isn't full right now, but it will be full on the way back, so I'm sure it is worthwhile for me to be operating these routes. And again, what should I be doing? It's the middle of the month. I have $1 million in cash. I have a limit on how many more vehicles I can possibly buy. Let's check how my vehicles are doing at this point. Okay, I have a couple of routes which are losing money. I have this Macon to Washington route, which is at negative $150,000. So what's going on here? All right, so this is this Wyndham, which I added last time around, really to try to help with the Atlanta problem. And so at this point, it's not actually carrying very many passengers. And so I'm losing money on it. And I don't think I really need this route. Started thinking about it. I know there is a lot of traffic between Atlanta and Macon, but this bus isn't actually doing a good job of serving that because it's spending most of its time going back and forth to Washington. And so what I'm going to do is wait for it to arrive in Atlanta at least and deliver those 9 passengers and then immediately sell it. And then I'm going to use that vehicle. Oh, I thought I would get the vehicle back because I sold it, and I haven't. I thought I was being clever. I was going to use that vehicle immediately on a new route, and I can't. So, what other options do we have? I have this direct route from Atlanta to Mexico City, and I have 5 vehicles on this route at this point, and three of them are losing money. The Slacker is losing $60,000. I'm surprised by how wildly unprofitable these vehicles are. How do we get to the stage where the game has added so many vehicles to this route and now this route is unprofitable? I can only hope that when the vehicles arrive back in Atlanta, they will immediately fill it with passengers and the route will become profitable again. So looking at other unprofitable routes, we have Fayetteville to Salina. Nothing else really stands out as a potential problem. On the other side, we have extremely profitable routes. I wish you could tell from this whether I need to add more vehicles to routes. It shows me what the balance is, but since the balance depends on the number of vehicles, it's not really a good indicator. Another way to check is you can check on the efficiency of the individual vehicles. And vehicles that are low efficiency are going to be losing money on each leg of the trips. Vehicles which are high efficiency will be making money on average. So we can look at these low efficiency vehicles and consider whether we should be doing something about them. So we have these 2 which are going from Atlanta to Mexico City right now, which say 0% efficiency because they haven't actually picked up anyone this month. They've been carrying passengers since last month. So we'll ignore those. We have this one, this Foraker, which is low efficiency, is currently transferring passengers, and is full. So it may be that it's just more efficient in one direction than the other. So I don't really think I can do anything about it. I think I need to let that one keep running. And right, the others that are all low efficiency are all on this Atlanta to Mexico City route. And they should fix themselves once that becomes a regularly operating route. That should become profitable. Just going back through this list, if we go back up to the top, these are vehicles that are running full all the time, and so it probably makes sense to upgrade some of them. So just checking the route, checking what other vehicles are on the route. So vehicles on that route have been getting upgraded regularly by the hub. So it turns into this question of which of these do I need to be doing something about, and which will the game take care of? Will the hub managers upgrade for me? Because this whole thing is, I currently have over 250 buses. I currently have over 100 different bus routes. My hope was the hub managers would take care of expanding all of these routes, make sure that I can actually carry all of the passengers on all of these routes. And so once I've created a new route, I have a hub manager who's managing that route, I don't have to worry about any of these routes anymore. I can focus on what's for me the more interesting part of the game, which is expanding the various routes. And the hub managers aren't doing that job well. They are deleting vehicles from routes that I need, which is really painful, but they also are not actually expanding vehicles. They're not adding vehicles to routes as fast as I need them to. And all right, so this is a different problem. Again, Memphis is now backing up on passengers who want to go to other cities. In particular, we have 500 passengers who want to go to Washington right now. And part of the problem is there's another company that has a direct route, but that direct route doesn't really have the capacity to carry all these passengers. And so passengers come to Memphis to go to Washington, and then they can't really get there. Let me see if I can price out. Can I actually pull this off? I can. We'll just create a train from Memphis to Washington. Just stopping in the hubs on the way. And so that should be effective about reducing the number of passengers who are waiting in Memphis. Just looking around, trying to figure out what else do I need? Where else can I go? Down in Mexico, again, I could add in routes to additional cities. I want to. I'm not sure I have enough money at this point to do it. Just looking around at the map, there aren't obvious places that sort of need more. Maybe something here will tell me about a vehicle that I should be upgrading or that I need to be doing something about a particular route. Just, again, what is happening with this route between Memphis and Rome? Okay, so we have 3 vehicles on this route. And the hub manager should be taking care of those. Just looking through to see if I can find something that I should be dealing with rather than expecting the hub manager to deal with it. So, all right, we have this sluggard in Ardmore. What's going on here? Oh, if we look at hubs, Cookville is a problem. I think I have to look at this Cookville hub before I do anything else. So what is happening in Cookville? All right, so we still have the bonus for connecting Cookville to Philadelphia. That's the good news. Lost trust in Washington, which is interesting. Although actually, I still have the majority of the trust in Washington, which is actually a surprise, right? I was thinking Washington is controlled by the other company. It's a hub for the other company. If I want to try to take control of these cities away from that other company, I will have to work at it. Turns out, with my trains going to Washington, I'm already there. Not quite there in Culpeper, which is a surprise. I thought I would have gotten Culpeper first. But we have 357 who want to go to Washington from Cookville. should I be doing that about that? Again, there's a little red exclamation mark next to Cookville on the map showing that it's has too many passengers. Just going through all of the routes which pass through Cookville, we have like this one. I think my solution is I'm just going to directly add another train to this route. I can't add another Ironclad 1000, so I'll add a General T2. And there we go, that's 120 passengers. And the exclamation mark next to Cookville is gone. So we're still high. But the train from Cookville should pick up all of those passengers soon, I hope. We also have 124 who want to go to Chicago, so maybe I can look at that one too. Yeah, again, another company has a direct path. There's this plane between Chicago and Cookville. Which can only carry 15 passengers at a time, which is not a whole lot. So I would like to add a direct route myself that will be able to carry more passengers. With the amount of money that I have right now, I don't have a lot of options. I can at least add a bus. We'll go direct. It'll take 26 passengers at a time, which isn't great, but there's not a whole lot more I can do. I can add a second bus to that route, which I've done, but while that's happening, we've just reached November 1st. It's a new month. We have 4 new tasks, usual information, lots and lots of cities have grown. Asheville has shrunk, where I'm failing to manage my passengers in Asheville. And then destinations have changed, a whole bunch of cities, because I'm not meeting the requirements for sort of the last city they have passengers for. They've chosen new cities for all of those passengers to go to. So we have optimized vehicle profitability. It's telling me to deal with 4 vehicles. 2 of them already are profitable. What's happening with this one? That one should be profitable. And this one, Omaha to Ottumwa. So this is really losing money because I have so many vehicles on this route already, I think. Sort of overextended itself. So just looking through, trying to figure out where do I have passengers who need to be transported and who are not getting to where they need to go. Can I do something about this not profitable route? So I think rather than change the route or anything like that, I'm just going to downgrade this. We'll turn you into a Hubbard. See how that does. You should be profitable on your current trip, and hope everything will work out. Meanwhile, what am I looking at? Okay, sold out on the Trailblazer Foraker, sold out on the Trailblazer Gannett. At least I have some Frontier vehicles that I can add. Okay, we'll just go on. Next task, build a hub in Havana. Sure, looks great. I already have the ship connecting Miami to Havana. Now I can just connect to the entire island of Cuba. We have a bunch of cities on Cuba. They're all mostly connecting to each other. And then Havana has a bunch of passengers who want to go back to Freeport. So I have the ships running to take care of that. But for these locations on Havana, we will just build a road connecting everything and buy a vehicle to run on that road. We'll start with the Endicott. It seems like a reasonable size to start with. We have to build out all the roads. There we go, the entire island is connected. We also have a couple of other places that want to get to Havana, as well as the ones that are connecting away from Havana. So we have the ships from Miami, so that it will handle going up to Miami and then to the Bahamas. But then we have these two for New Gerona and Georgetown. So let me add new routes for both of these. Why not? I think for New Gerona, what's going to make the most sense is, well, let's look at the ship. What does the ship do? The ship has to go all the way around. Like, that is very indirect. The 17 hours to go one way seems not great. And there are lots of cities that want to connect to New Gerona. So instead of using a ship, maybe I should use a plane. Trying to think, how many passengers am I going to have? How long is it going to take for the plane to get back and forth? Let's try the P320. And there we go. And Georgetown, interesting. Georgetown wants to go to Santiago de Cuba and to Havana. And this is a little more spread out. And so I think I want a route which is connecting all three cities, and we'll make it cyclic so it returns directly to Havana from Georgetown. And this one I will use a ship. There you go. It's still a long route, but I feel like this one makes more sense as a ship route than the previous one. So that should be everyone who wants to get to and from Havana. Lost trust indicator. So that means that the competitor in Chicago is doing a better job of delivering passengers to and from Decatur than I am, which kind of makes sense. They got to Decatur first. All right, and we have more connections to Atlanta. We're currently at 55 out of 65, so I'm going to need to add a ton of routes to Atlanta to make that work. I'm surprised by how many it is. So I guess I'll start working on that. And we need Austin to Atlanta. Currently nobody's getting there. So what can I do about that? How can I help that? I could just add a direct bus connection. But this bus is going to be going through Dallas anyway, and through Memphis. And Little Rock. Might as well stop everywhere. And we want to put you in the right order. So we'll put Atlanta down at the bottom. And go. Alright, so that should take care of Austin. That should be one off the list. Next up is Matamoros. Right, it's talking about not having direct routes. I have indirect routes, but seeing as it wants me to make these connections, let's go ahead and do it. We'll just connect Matamoros. Yeah, unsurprising, we're going through Houston. Might as well stop in Corpus Christi, San Antonio. Might as well stop, well, some places. Which ones do I want? You know, I think I want just the hubs. We'll stop it. Start Matamoros and then just go Houston, Jackson, Atlanta. I'm going to change it so Atlanta is at the end of the route, not in the middle. Next on the list was Raleigh. Alright, so where was Raleigh? Let's see if I can find it. Should be in here somewhere. There you are. Oh, right, this is one of the cities that I connected to Myrtle Beach. So what's happening? I think it's really just a numbers thing. The number of passengers I want to get from Raleigh in this direction is just a little high. Right, because we have passengers who want to come from all of Jacksonville, Goldboro, Raleigh, Fayetteville, Myrtle Beach. So is there a route that I can do that'll take care of all of these directly? I'll try coming this way. Loop around a little bit. So that should help with several of those cities, I hope. Next up, Tulsa. Which is going to be here. And again, how are you getting to Atlanta? How should I add a direct route from Tulsa? So currently, Tulsa, I'm just going to Ardmore and... Oh, I do have a route from Tulsa to Memphis, so that's the route that passengers should be taking, but that route apparently isn't going to be carrying enough passengers. It has four acres on it. Seems like that should be enough passengers. But I guess a lot of vehicles are coming on that route, so do I want to just add another vehicle on that route? See if that's enough to do it. Yeah, start a new vehicle, a new Sanford coming from Ardmore, see how it does. Not picking up many passengers yet. I assume it will pick up more when it gets to the next cities. I guess to Oklahoma City or Tulsa itself. let me just stop for a moment. Let me think about what's happening here. It's maybe I don't want this vehicle to actually start in Ardmore. Maybe I want it to. All right, so this is just Ardmore to Memphis. It would be going that direction. But if I have Ardmore and Tulsa, you just do that. And then Atlanta. And we'll stop in Memphis because it's on the way. Put things in the correct order. All right. Make this change. Let's do it. But I'm also going to change the Sanford back to a like an Endicott. Seems like the right size for this route. Alright, and we'll resume things. Iron Trust in Green Bay, that's because I have the plane coming up there, and Iron Trust in Decatur. So Decatur is going back and forth. It sort of depends on, I guess, probably the timing of the trains. And so, back to this Atlanta problem. 57 of 65. You know what, before I do that, I have this indirect traffic problem in Cookeville. I bet I can solve this one faster than I can figure out all those other connections. So you're at 154 to Chicago. St. Louis is overflowing with passengers to Chicago. Why is that happening? You're getting lots of connecting city passengers from lots of places, but now you're overflowing, and so because you're overflowing. All right, and I see my train from Rolla to Chicago. Shouldn't I also have a train from Memphis to Chicago that stops in St. Louis? All right, should be. Is this the way to find it? All right, now let me go this way. Where are you? Memphis, Dyersburg, Decatur, Chicago. So this is the one, and it is not stopping in St. Louis. Well, that's a mistake. Right? You're just not stopped. Why did I do that? Yep. The train's going through St. Louis. It's just not stopping there. Alright, fine. You know what? New train. Sure. Memphis. Train. Oh, I've unlocked the Ironclad 2000 at this point. Let's go ahead and use it. Oh, and I'm missing Cape Girardeau as well. That doesn't make any sense at all. Decatur and Chicago. I guess I just can't get to Cape Girardeau at this point. But we'll just add this new train, which is going from Memphis to Chicago, but it's stopping in St. Louis, so hopefully it will pick up passengers there as well. And that'll help St. Louis. What else is happening in Memphis? sure there's anything I want to deal with. So let's go back to Atlanta. There it is. Toledo. Why don't I add the route actually all the way up to Detroit and then down to Atlanta? And sort of thinking about sort of connecting a hub to hub. In this case, it's one of my competitors' hubs, but it's still the same basic idea. And we need to add in a little bit of road, I think. Yeah, because right now we're going around, but if we build this road, we can add in that connection to Dayton to Cincinnati, and things go much faster. And where else do I want to be stopping at this point? I might as well stop everywhere. Dayton, Cincinnati, Lexington, Knoxville, Chattanooga, and Atlanta. There we go. So that should take care of Toledo going to Atlanta. Although I guess it's full of passengers currently coming from Detroit, but it should fix itself eventually. You know what? There are enough passengers on this route. Let me go ahead and just add another vehicle right now. Why wait? We'll add the Sanford. And this one isn't filling up. That means it can pick up passengers in Toledo. Where else do I have? So Toledo should be taken care of. Next up is Fayetteville. So there are two different Fayettevilles, so let me see if I can figure out which one's the problem. You know what? Let me take another look at Cookeville first. Again, this one should be easier to fix. Apparently it is not fixed. What's happening? So, 99 passengers to Gadsden. Okay. Can I just go directly from Cookeville to Gadsden? Will that solve it? I'll go through Chattanooga too, because it also has lots of passengers. Or maybe just directly. Maybe continue on down to Jackson. Trying to figure out sort of what route makes sense. If I build a train here, what happens? Okay. I think that's not bad. And so if we're doing this, we'll want to stop everywhere probably. There we go. And there you go. And you're immediately filling with passengers to Chattanooga. Which is something. So yeah, I think at this point, Cookeville will take care of itself. We can come back to the Atlanta problem. And what are we looking for? Just scrolling through the huge list of cities that I'm connecting to. There's Fayetteville. But there are two, so here's the other one. Do I think this is the one that has the problem? Let's take a look at this one first. Okay, so this is Fayetteville, Oklahoma. I'm not actually sure what state this is in. So you're at 100% fulfillment for Atlanta, but you have 63 passengers who currently want to get there. So maybe I should work on that. Looking around, trying to figure out what my starting point is. We'll start in Salina and then come, I guess, up to through Fayetteville and then Memphis and then Atlanta. And I guess we'll try the Wyndham, see how we do. Not carrying any for Salina, that's not really a surprise. Hopefully when we get to Fayetteville, that route will start to make sense. Again, I'm earning and losing trust in various cities. I lost Green Bay, but I got Decatur back, I think. And what else do we have? We have the other Fayetteville. Maybe is this one the problem? Oh, okay. So this one we have 0% fulfillment. So maybe this is the one I need to be working on. So most of these cities I have a connection to at this point. I'm not connected to Virginia Beach yet. I'm not connected to Hampton yet. Maybe I can connect to those cities. So we'll start with Culpeper and come down through both of these. Again, like working on this connection that I want for Fayetteville to Atlanta, but also thinking about how I want to be transporting more passengers to Culpeper. So how is this going to work? From Fayetteville to Myrtle Beach and then to Atlanta. Sure, makes sense. Let's do it. And so Fayetteville's still on the list, but hopefully that will take care of itself. Next up is Rockford. Where is Rockford? Oh, right, this is one near Chicago. So right now I'm sort of depending on the other company's connection from Rockford to Chicago to be able to get the passengers down to Atlanta. I'm doing well on taking passengers from Atlanta to Chicago. So the problem is really going to be after that. But what does a train look like from Atlanta? This is a train route I probably want anyway. Where are we going? Can I force the train to go through Cookville? What does that look like? That's... It's weird that I can't get a north-south route through Cookville. I have to come... It feels weirdly indirect, but let's do it. And stop in every city. And there we go. And do I want the general T2? Do I want to go bigger? I know this route's going to pay for itself. Let's go bigger. Okay. And will that take care of my Rockford problem? Well, I'm still not actually connecting to Rockford, but there is that direct path. There's just a Wyndham between the two. I'm going to hope that that was enough, that if I have enough traffic going to Chicago, passengers will be able to get to Chicago based on the existing route, and so we'll move on to Columbia. And what is your issue? Okay, so lots of routes going to Columbia. All right, I have a train going from Atlanta to Columbia, right? So why is there a problem? Yeah, this is it. Atlanta, Augusta, Columbia. And then this other one going, other train from Sumter, which is also going through Columbia to Atlanta. So why don't I... Sure, upgrade this train. And because this train is closer to, is a shorter route overall, it'll be able to pick up passengers from Columbia faster. Okay, so what is next? I think the next one I wanted to look at was Mansfield. There you are, Mansfield. How do I get a useful connection to Mansfield? You know what? I talked about doing this before. I'm going to do it now. Build the hub in Cincinnati. And so now I can connect from Mansfield to Cincinnati and then down to Atlanta. And this will be a bus. And build this road. And so we're also going through Columbus and Dayton. So we'll add those as stops. And put Atlanta in the correct place. And there we go. Oh, and that's a surprise. It's the end of November, it's the beginning of December, so I did not make it. It's weirdly, I ran out of time on completing the tasks for that month. That's the first time I think that's happened. Other times when I haven't completed tasks, it's really because I haven't had money. So, new month, new tasks, new money. I think I've been playing for long enough. I should stop here, and we'll come back next time to figure out what to do with these new tasks. So, this is where I say like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I see you again in the future. Thanks for watching.